Welcome back to my channel. It has been a long and cold crypto winter. I mean, Bitcoin fell almost 80% over the last year. Altcoins got decimated. But the good news is the winter is over. Hallelujah. So the market is ready to go back up again. We are in the green. We are clear. It looks good. Right now is Bitcoin dominance. What that means is that Bitcoin is going to perform better than majority of the altcoins. I'm going to get into the technicals of how I know that this is finally, we've entered the bull market. Yeah, I'm so excited. It's been so long since I last made a video because it's just been like nothing's been happening. Like Bitcoin's just been going down or fake me out pumps. So I'm gonna explain why this isn't a fake me out and why this is the actual thing and why we are in the bull run now. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the technicals and yeah, let's make some money. Let's make some money. All right.
All right. So the first theory I want to show you guys as to why we are entering into the bull market has to do with Bitcoin halving. So each of these yellow bars represents a halving period. What is Bitcoin halving? Basically, it's an event when the reward for mining Bitcoin transactions is cut in half. Okay, so when Bitcoin first began, miners were awarded 6.25 Bitcoins for each block that they successfully mined. However, with each halving period, that reward is cut in half. Okay, so instead of getting 6.25, they get half of that. And then the next halving period, they would get half of that. The next halving period, they get half of that. What this does is it reduces the rate of inflation, and as a result, it pushes the price of Bitcoin upward. Okay, so if we look at this, what we're looking at, this is Bitcoin to the US dollar. Each of these is a 7-day. So each of these candles lines is represents 7 days. And I have a log scale on just so you can see the impact of these halving periods. So if you notice, every time a halving period occurred, Bitcoin flew, right? Another halving period occurred, Bitcoin flew. Here, the last halving period occurred and Bitcoin flew. Now, right after the fly, there's always a retrace, okay? So it always comes back down. Now let's look at this, okay? Just so you can kind of see some of the patterns that have happened. So we measure from the peak, this was from the 2013 run, to the peak, to the lowest point of the crash. It crashed about almost 90%, over 408 days, right? Then the next one, we peaked at around 20,000, crashed 85%. And again, over about a year. And our most recent one, we peaked out at 69,000. And we've crashed almost 80% again over almost a year. All right. So each of these is about the same period. So we are due to have hit our lowest point. Now, if we look at how far from the halving period to the lowest point, so let's just see like how long did it take, right? So the lowest point here occurred about 550 days before the halving period. Then in the previous run, it occurred 513 days before. So where are we now? Right now, we're scheduled to have our halving period, our next halving period around the end of March 2024. That date can change, but relatively that's around when it should be. So it happened 492 days prior to our scheduled next halving period, which again is also on track with the previous patterns. Okay, so the halving period. Now, sure, if you notice, we do tend to From the lowest point, we go up, sometimes we come down, and then we start going up like really strong, right? But we never go back down to that lowest low point. If you notice here, it never came back down to that low point. Also, even with the crash here that happened in March because of COVID, it still never went below this lowest point. All right. So we still, like, even if something major happens in the world, we should not be going below this lowest point that we hit at about 15,500. All right. Now, I want to show you the other way of telling when a bull run has begun. All right. And that is with this 200-day moving average. So I've now switched this to the 1-day bar. All right. So each of these candles now represents 1 day. So historically, what happens? I'm going to take off the log scale so that you can see how significant this is. Basically, as long as we are above the 200-day moving average, that is when we have our bull runs. That is when we fly. All right. When we go below, see here we dip below the 200-day moving average, but there, Bitcoin was able to come back on top, so it could keep going. It could keep flying. When we go below the 200-day moving average and we stay below it, like here, we could never really get back on top of it. That's when a crash happens. That's when a retrace happens, the bear market occurs. When we get back on top of it, we go up and begin the next bull run. You see? Again, couldn't get back on top, so we crash. Got on top for a bit, we went up, then went back down. Here we had a hard time. Again, this was with the COVID, had a hard time stabilizing above the 200-day moving average, but when we finally did, we flew, right? And our most recent crash, we've been below the 200-day moving average. For more than a year, we've been below it. So right now, this is very significant because we just crossed above the 200-day moving average. If we look at the S&P 500, just for stocks for comparison, so you have a kind of idea of what's happening, it has been trying also to get above the 200-day moving average. This has not yet stabilized above it. Once this stabilizes above, then stocks as well will go up. So where is Bitcoin going in the short term? Now, basically, because Bitcoin has been falling fairly directly, it has not retraced the fall. The first thing Bitcoin needs to do is it needs to retrace its entire fall. What that means is that the Bitcoin needs to come up to the middle of the bar. This would be considered a complete retrace. So around 42,000. When Bitcoin hits a full retrace, it typically, if during the bull markets, it typically does 5% above the retrace value to 25%. So we could basically be looking at numbers anywhere from like 42,000 up to 53,000. Okay. So in this pump, basically over the next month, Bitcoin should be coming up anywhere between 42,000 and 53,000. Once it hits that, then it's going to need to retrace this pump, okay? So it's going to go basically from like the lowest point up to the highest point, and then it needs to come back down halfway of this cross, okay? So it's going to come back down to here, about 36,000. Now, this is if it hits 53,000. If it hits, say, only the 42,000, then it's not going to need to, the retrace will be different, right? So if it only hits 42,000, for example, then it's going to retrace back down to about 30,000. So we'll know once we get how high Bitcoin gets in this pump, how low we'll go on the retrace, okay? So then Bitcoin's going to come back down. It's going to hit this mark. And as long as there's no major global disaster or an event like COVID, then from here we will go up. And from here we will fly. All right. This is when we're going to go and see Bitcoin prices that we've never seen before. Like, it's going to be phenomenal. All right. So that's what you can expect in the short term. So the other way that I know that we have entered the bull run and that this isn't just a pump or a fake is calculus. And this is how I'm track the market. This is what I use predominantly to know when we've entered a bull run, to know when we're in a bear market. All right. And this has to do with the first derivative of the line. So basically down here, so like if you look at a normal graph, right? If I were to turn this off, this is what you'd see, right? Some green candles, some red candles. Doesn't really mean anything. Down here, I've overlaid the graph with calculus code. So this is the first derivative of this line, all right? Basically, what this is showing is the slope of the line. When the slopes are positive, they're green, and Bitcoin is going up. When the slopes are negative, it falls, and they're red. Now, for all of the bull runs historically, Bitcoin needed to be green or have positive slopes on the 7-day. When the slopes are positive on the 7-day, Bitcoin went up. When the slopes were red, we entered the bear market or the crash. All right. So this is very consistent with every run. Green would go up, red would go down. Green would go up, red would go down. Green would go up, red we retrace, until it goes back green again. Then we go back up. Red we crash. So this is very significant because right now we have just closed green on the 7-day candle. All right. Indicating that we have already hit a minimum. So when there's a flip from green to red, it indicates that a maximum had occurred. So when it flips from green to red, a maximum occurred. When it flips from red to green, it indicates that a minimum has occurred. So now we're going up. All right. So the top altcoin picks for this period, these are altcoins that are either above their 200-day moving average, so they should be going up. And also in terms of the calculus, in terms of their slope, they are also positive on basically all of the time frames from the 1-day, 2-day, 3-day, all the way up through 7 days. So that also indicates that they're ready to go. Not all altcoins are ready to go yet. So Bitcoin, because this is Bitcoin dominance right now, Bitcoin still will be performing better than majority of the altcoins, but these are some altcoins that likely will be performing better than Bitcoin, and those are Phantom, Decentraland, also known as Mana, Engine Coin, Aave, Cardano, Atom or Cosmos, Binance Coin, Comp, Fetch AI, Loopring, Render, Sand, Uniswap, Matic, and VeChain. Also, Harmony is in the process of confirming that it's ready to go. Ethereum is also ready to go. It's been performing quite similar to Bitcoin, so I don't expect it to outperform Bitcoin. Bitcoin's actually been performing slightly better than Ethereum overall, but right now the two of them are kind of just going neck and neck.
All right, well, that's all for me today. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And yeah, I will be bringing you guys news when the altcoins, which altcoins are ready to pop off, which ones are ready to go and fly. So yes, be sure to hit that notification bell so that you get notified when a new video comes out. And happy trading! Also, remember, with all investments, like, never risk more money than you're willing to lose. Okay, that's very important. Like, if you have a little extra money, use that. I mean, it doesn't really matter how much extra you have. Like, it's up to you what you feel comfortable and what your level of risk is. So yeah, play safe, have fun. Let's go.